Well, guys, how's it going? So, of course, it has to be fucking cloudy out. It just can't be sunny. We had a good amount of sun yesterday. It was kind of cloudy in the morning, but whatever. So yeah, it's been probably a couple of days now or something. I don't really know, since we had a rain. We had a rain back on the 4th, and then we had another, I don't know, almost 1 inch just a couple days ago. So all the hay that I got down right now, of course, was drenched. So now I'm trying to get this fucking shit to dry out. I cut more of the pond here, and I managed to get a couple of loads made up out of it. We already fed one load, and then took another load out of here last, I don't know, I think it was last night probably. And then there's one more load down here yet, and then I cut down in the junk pile, and then I cut the north garden. And I'm trying to get this stuff to dry out. It did dried out pretty good yesterday on top, but then underneath it was still obviously still wet. And then I opened it up, pulled the top off and whatever the hell else, try to get more of the middle exposed, and it was still wet, and it was starting to actually it was starting to heat. I think a lot of it had to do with the sun though too. I think the sun was heating it up, but then it wasn't going to really go away. So of course you got to worry about that, because you don't want your hay to catch fire. Not really any hay there. So still a little damp on top, but like it's not, you don't have to worry about it, like it's all right. I'm worried now about the center, which is still fairly wet, but it ain't soaked. And I'm mostly checking for hot spots now in it. The sun poked out there for a second, but yeah, I think it's the sun's supposed to come out a little bit more this evening, but get out of here. But it's not going to help with drying. No drying is going to really happen today, because the only thing that we have is wind. And down here, the wind is kind of, well, it's not that strong. So it, I don't know, it'll be all right. I'm going to come tonight and get this load, give that to the cows. So we did give the cows a round bale quite a few days ago. It was it's not a rotten bale, but it's a bale that's not all that good really. We got that from the young guy, and they had that pretty much devoured within a couple days. So they were getting low on food. Like nothing's gonna grow anymore. So they're gonna be dependent on hay bales for a little while until the young guy gets here with the tractor. So, but yeah, and then down here at the junk pile, that's where I'm going next, because I got to check for hot spots. I think I found them all last night, but you never know. Plus I gotta check for moisture. So, but yeah, and my uncle went and got another bale today, but he didn't put that out because I got hay down, and then I got hay to cut yet too. I'm gonna be cutting the dike here probably in the next couple days, and then that's all we're gonna have for food. So, because I don't really want them to be eating these good bales, because these good bales have to last us the winter, and you know, the young guy has, you know, those garbage bales. The cows are eating them, but we're getting them for free. So, and he's got a shit ton of those. Of course, he's using some of them too to feed the few cows that he's still got at home that are still calving and or whatever else, and that are being given their shots and whatever. So kind of is what it is, but I think he's got quite a few bales left there yet, so I'm not too worried about taking any of his because he don't want them anyway. So, but so I cut down here, down here at the junk pile. I came down here. That's another thing too. I mowed my lawn a couple days ago, and then we got that fucking rain the next day because I couldn't finish the night before because it got too late. It was already like 8 or 8:30. It was already dark out, and the moisture was coming on, so you know it was going to be kind of sketchy to be mowing hillsides like that. So I said, oh, I'll just come back tomorrow or the next day and we'll finish. Nope, it decided to rain. So I don't think that's just grass that died. It looked like it was getting moldy, but I think it was just the way the grass was dying off. But so this will be my third time now opening this up, but I'm more or less just checking for hot spots now. Moisture seems to be all right. It's there, the moisture, but if we don't get any more fucking rain, which I'm sure we'll get more tomorrow. That's just the way it seems. So, because they seem to be talking rain like every other day, but it's only a 30% chance. That's got a little bit of moisture in it, but it ain't horrible. So, I had all this stuff neatly stacked up, and then of course it rained. Drove it into the ground more. And then got it wet. So, I think we're alright. This pile anyway. There's no hot spots in here. Can't really do much about the moisture because they might dry out a little bit today. I don't know. All we're going to be relying on is the breeze. Sun may come out this evening, but then it's already going to be below the tree line, so it ain't going to do nothing. But yeah, then I came down here last night, finished mowing the roadside ditches and stuff at the farm, and then I came down here. I mowed all this because I didn't cut that with the little tractor because the trees and stuff are there. So cleaned that up, cleaned up around those trees down there just to make it look nice. Because this isn't going to grow anymore this year. We're done now. So whatever little bit of growing that it does decide to do, it's not going to be worth anything. If anything, I'm probably just better off leaving it. That way, if the deer need something to eat, then there's food down here. But I think there's tons of grass out in the field they could be eating too. But I don't know if cows or if deer eat that much for grass. I think they prefer nuts more than anything else. But there's not much nuts around here. So yeah, that's kind of a wet spot, but it's all right. Yeah, it was getting warm in the center, so that's why I pulled the center out. But see right there, that's got a little bit of a warm spot in it, and that was right on the top, so that should have been kind of concerning, but I think we're good. I think we'll be all right. For heating wise, I think that's pretty much done and over with now. Unless we get more fucking rain and I got to open this up even more. Because like I said, I had all this neatly stacked up, ready to be fed. And then it fucking rained. So, getting kind of sick of this rain crap again. But I guess it's that time of the year, where it could be raining a lot. So, but cutting hay is going to be pretty much coming to an end too if it keeps raining like this. Because I can't cut hay in the rain, so whatever hay we got down, that's going to be it. So, and then like I said, I got the north garden finally cut. It didn't really produce much. I don't even think there's even going to be a quarter of a load there, but that's all right. I'll mix it in with a load, because I think down there at the pond, that might be half of a load. So I could easily just take that to the north garden and then load up the north garden, and then that should get me a full load, and then that's it. Then down here we can just, whatever. So, but even a quarter of a load's better than nothing. So, and then the young guy did give us one of his hay rings. It's obviously not in perfect shape. It's been used and welded on and abused, and that's pretty wet still. Pull it up to the top and that'll dry out. So, but it's a good ring for now. It'll get us by until my uncle decides to order a new one. I'm using that ring right now. We didn't know if we wanted to use it on those garbage bales because we figured, okay, well they're gonna eat the center out first because that's gonna be the best quality of grass. So they're gonna go for that first. So therefore, they're going to want to really stretch their necks into that to get it. And then if we put a ring over that one, then they're going to they might put a lot of pressure on the ring and then they cause it to break. So for right now, we're just going to use it for my hay. And then we'll use it when we start having the actual feed hay for the wintertime. We'll use it a little bit there. Unless my uncle just wants to switch over to his new one when he does finally get one. I don't know. It's always good to have maybe two rings, I think, floating around. One for main hay and then one for hay like this, So, but for this type of hay, you could use any kind of a garbage ring. It doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't have to be a $600 hay ring. It can be a $20 hay ring. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that one we got from the young guy isn't perfect, but it'll do. It does actually pretty well for this, because I can put my hay in it, and then the cows don't walk on it because they have a habit of doing that, and then they get it all dirty and then they won't eat it. So I think I've wasted probably quite a bit of hay just for not having a hay ring, but we have one now. But it's whatever for this now. But if it survives the winter, of course, we'll see what next year brings, but, maybe we should use it. If that one survives, then we'll use it again next year for this stuff. But if my uncle will order one or not, I don't know. Because even if he does, I don't know how he wants to do it. If he wants to just continue to use the young guy's ring until that breaks, or just go to using the new one and then just keep the old one as like a backup. or for stuff like this. That would be kind of up to him. So, but we decided to not use the ring on those garbage bales because it's not worth it. I don't want them stressing it out and then they break it, and then, you know, we don't have a new one here yet. And then another thing I like about it, putting this hay into the ring. Okay, well, the cows, they can't trample me. They can't headbutt me. They can't kick me. They can't run into me or whatever, you know. So, because I back the pickup right up to it, and then I'll use the ring as like a ladder, and then I'll climb up into the back of the pickup, and then I'll fork it into the ring, and then I can fork it all the way around the edges, you know. So it actually decreases the chances of me getting injured by them, because they're getting kind of aggressive and they're getting kind of kicky, and they're actually kicking their calves away now too, which they're not going to be here too much longer anyway. But can't have that. It's getting too dangerous. They might be kicking me, and you know, that all could have been avoided just standing in the back of the pickup truck, you know. And that's still drenched. But yeah, just a little. There's no heat in it, but so yeah, I don't know. Oh, there's a little bit of heat there, a little bit, but that's done now because I pulled it out. So, and that's drenched. Well, I got a feeling some of this hay I'm going to have to bring up to the yard to get it to dry out. And what I mean by that is, like, I take the green trailer, I load that up with hay, and then I can shove it underneath a building and protect it from the rain, so no more rain can get on. Of course, you know, what I don't load is going to get rained on, but whatever. All kind of just depends on what the rain's going to do, you know. So, but yeah, I'm probably not going to flip it anymore today. I don't like even having to flip this shit because I feel like I'm going to, even though it's still plenty green yet, at least underneath it's still green. I don't want to beat the damn leaves off. So, yeah, so I mowed that little bit right there. I mowed down because the tractor didn't cut it. And then just up there in the trees there, I mowed all that down, clean it up. So, and then down there by the camping spot, I mowed that. I think that'll be the last time I ever mow that now for the year. Because of when I went and mowed it, it was okay. You know, like I didn't really even need it. I could have just let it go, but whatever. So that's nice and dry. Get the dry stuff off now. Get the wet stuff more to the top. Yeah, it's a little damp, but it's not hot though, so it might have cooled off eventually, but I don't know. That's how hay catches on fire, when it's wet and hot, and then it'll just keep building heat. So it needs to be loose, and that's what I'm doing here, is I'm loosening it back up, so then the wind can actually get through it. When it's all mashed into the ground because of the rain, the wind's not going to get into it, so you can still smell the damn moisture coming off of it. So, but yeah, that fucking rain kind of screwed me over. And that rain wasn't even supposed to come until Friday, but it came Thursday, if I remember correctly. So it came a day early. Fucking weather people don't know 1 minute from the next, you know. It's just like, I think you should just stop talking, weather people. You know, that's still drenched, but no hot spot. What about you? Not too bad, but you gotta get to the bottom. Yeah, it's not too bad there. But yeah, had it all neatly stacked up and ready to be fed, but in the rain. So, yeah, it's not soaked, but it's wet. Okay. Getting a headache now from bending over. I don't like bending over because I get headaches. They go away after a few minutes, but I don't like it. So, yeah, there's 6 piles down here. I don't know. I've always been wrong before, but each pile, you think it's at least 1 load, but I don't know. Sometimes I get 2 loads out of them, so I don't know. But what do you do? You know? So, but I don't know. Because it looks like it wants to freaking rain again, but there's no rain on the radar, so nothing better fucking fall. Still trying to dry out over here. So, it's absolutely insane. But I don't understand, I mean, because now when I cut this hay, it was still pretty wet underneath. But it was never going to dry out. It's too late in the year. We are up. Well, it was supposed to be in the 80s today, but that's not going to happen. They're still talking a few days out of 80s and high 70s, which is good drying weather if you have either sun or wind or both. If you have both, then the hay will be out. This hay would be dried out in a couple of hours. You'd have to come down here every couple of hours, flip it, and get it to dry out some more. Then you would have some bone dry hay again, but I'm not doing that. Yesterday I flipped it twice, but that's because I wanted to get, the top of it was already getting dry, but I knew that underneath it was still going to be soaked, so I pulled the bottom up, and then, yeah, to get it to dry out. And then when I came back in the evening, well, then I noticed that there was hot spots in it, so I was like, well, if I don't do something with it, it'll probably catch fire eventually. So, not that anything down here would burn because everything's still wet. I don't think this would take too long to dry out. This would probably have to sit for another week or 2 to dry out before you got to cut it. Which I guess I could have done in a way, because I could have just went and had cut the dike, because that would have been dry, because that's out in the open. Down here you have too much tree coverage, but hopefully, maybe with time we can kind of maybe thin these trees out a little bit. Like down there you got some dead ones. We'll get rid of the dead ones. That would allow more sunlight in and more wind. But you don't want it to dry out too much down here, because that's what's nice about the hay down here, is that the hay down here grows really nice because there's so much moisture down here. There's hay that's taller than me at sometimes, So, but, and I think easily you could probably get maybe 3 cuttings off of this, but the first cutting's never going to get fed because the cows don't need it, First cutting would have been better off just going straight into round bales than anything else, which is probably, I guess, what I could do in the future. That's kind of the plans with this anyway, is to cut this for hay. I just haven't decided yet if I'm going to cut it for like main hay or like this, like I have 2 options, but I guess you could technically still do both, because this will. Now the thing is, this grew in kind of late. I didn't stop mowing this until July, late July probably. But if I would have never mowed it, period, the hay would have been way taller, and then there probably would have been a second cutting and then maybe a third cutting, right? So, but I'm going to try not to mow it next year. I guess just kind of depending on what goes on. Cut it, and then, I don't know. The cows are not going to need this until late in the year. So, and if you cut this late in the year, well, then you're not going to get a second cutting. So, I don't know. Like, there's nowhere to put loose hay. You know, this is how the great grandparents did it. They had loose hay like this, but of course it was in windrows. It wasn't in piles. But then they would pick it up, throw it in the barn loft, and then it would sit there until they needed it. Well, we can't do that. We don't have any buildings. The barn doesn't have a roof anymore, so you can't do that. We don't have any buildings to put loose hay into to keep it safe. And then even if you did, well, then you got mice and shit running around, so you'd have to put out things to keep mice away, because you don't want them, you know, fucking walking around in it. So, giving our cows some kind of a freaking disease, right? So, I mean, what do you do? So, I guess I don't know if you guys will stay there or not, but turn that down. So yeah, I got done checking up on my gaming camera too. Of course, I don't know, there's so much activity going on right now that I have to put batteries in it pretty much every week. So, just too much activity. But I can't shut it down either for a week or two just to give me a break, because, you know, you might miss something. So, what do, you know? I can get a breeze going through here or something. There we go. So, yeah, the leaves are falling. I don't know if that's actually a good thing or not for the hay, because you're getting hay mixed in, or you're getting leaves mixed in with the hay. I don't know. I know that the cows like leaves, but I think they like them green. I don't know if they would like them dead like this. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's extra filler, you know, for the hay. But you're not going to get that much for leaves mixed in with it. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. If the cows eat it, fine. If they don't, whatever. They can spit it out then or whatever. So, but I don't know. So yeah, I was supposed to get, well, the young guy didn't really know either, but he was thinking probably maybe a week before we could get a tractor down here to start moving bales. But that depended on the rain. So he heard rain for Friday, which came a day early. We didn't get nothing really. I don't think we got anything Friday. It was sunny kind of most of the day, but I don't know. It was cloudy in the morning, but the clouds let up a little bit, so that was the only way I was able to get really anything kind of semi-dried out. It still needs to dry out more yet, but I think it's safe enough now that, you know, I mean, the cows would probably eat it wet. I don't think they're going to care about that, but I'm trying to stop it from molding. So, you know, they're not going to eat it if it's fucking moldy, so. But I'm not going to keep flipping it either, so. I don't know. What do you do? I'm not going to really mess with it too much more now. I don't think today. I don't know if I'll come. I got to come back tonight and get a load, but I don't know if I probably will. I probably will end up coming back down here and look at stuff over again, but I don't think I'm going to flip it. You know, so, because you don't want to flip it too much. So, mostly just because I don't want to beat the leaves and shit off of it. You know, that's what they want. They don't just want the sticks, so. Because I'm trying to be gentle with it too, but, you know, there's only so much you can do with it, so. And then you got to fork it yet, you know. You got to fork it twice. Fork it into the pickup. Fork it out of the pickup. And then the cows are going to shred it, so. This hay's going to take a lot of beating from now until it gets put into the cow's mouth, you know, like it's going to get beat up quite a bit, so. But the young guy said we should have had a tractor here, or we should have one here within a week, but depending on weather conditions, which this is going to set everything back now by days, so I don't know. I'm just probably going to be another week, so 2 weeks, you know. But see, that's the thing too, is that now we're getting so close to October, and then October is when he's going to be coming to get them and load them up onto a semi and then take them home. So it's like, I don't know, you know, it's like, is it really even worth it? But my tractor's broke down, because we would have been done by now if my tractor hadn't been broken down, because I could have moved. I would have been done by now. So, and then I wouldn't have to cut any of this fucking hay, because then the cows could be out in the main field eating all that grass. I'm still going to shove them out there, but I'm just waiting for the young guy to come. So I don't know. And I think we've had we had 2 frost advisories quite a few days ago. I don't know if we got any frost out of it or not, but the trees have really changed color now. So, and then the soybeans there, they changed color. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we got a little something, but maybe it wasn't enough to hurt the grass, though. I don't know, maybe the grass is a little bit of a tougher plant than we're thinking, but I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. So this year's been kind of a botch, you know. It's pretty much been a wash. It's been a bitch, whatever you want to call it. You're not fucking winning. So, oh, there goes a deer right behind me. Walked right across the trail into the woods again. Oh, there she comes with her baby. Yeah, they're getting kind of brave too. They're not getting all that scared anymore, because I guess I'm down here too much, but whatever. I'm never going to be able to pet them anyway, but you know, they're never going to get that tame. So, but yeah, the leaves are falling off the trees pretty quick now too. So fall is officially here, which is not great. What do you do? You know? So I guess we'll just kind of wait and see what the young guy does. You know? And like I said, there's only so much hay that I can cut. I only have a little bit left to cut. And that's on the dike. I've cut pretty much everything else now. So I don't know. The dike might do pretty good, but I don't know. It was a third deer. I don't know, you know, like how much I'm going to get out of it for like tonnage wise, you know. So I don't know. There's only so much more that I can cut. So after that, I don't know. It'll be kind of an interesting thing, I guess, to see what happens, but eventually we're probably just going to have to just keep feeding garbage bales or whatever, because we can get them for free and the cows eat them regardless. So, but what do? You know, there goes that deer. So I don't know. It just kind of is what it is, I guess, at this point. So that deer's looking right at me. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna just be kind of whatever, I guess, at this point. Hopefully we can hopefully we get a tractor here. I don't know, because I would like to push the cows out into the square field for the rest of the year. I think they could stay out there until, you know, easily probably late October, because they're not going to be out there full time. They're only going to be out there for, you know, for a few hours a day, or however long they want to be out there, right? Which could be anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, and then they're going to want to come back for water. And then after that, they're probably going to want to take a small nap. So then while they're taking a nap, then we could be going out and doing something else, you know. So I don't know. But what are you going to do? Hey, dear. I think there's 2 of them looking at me now, thinking I'm crazy for talking, but yeah, they don't understand me anyway. So But yeah, like I said, other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm going to probably make another video here. It's just going to be kind of a little bit of a ranting, bitching video, but I just want to try to keep these videos as short as possible. So that's what's going on for haying. We're down to our last little bit to, to feed. I mean, I haven't even fed any of this yet, but I think I got one more pile there in the pond, which may or may not be a full load. Just depends on how it is when it's piled up. Then I have all this here at the junk pile, which just despite that it cut like complete shit, it actually did yield pretty well. Like there could be way more down here, but it just didn't want to cut it, so I just said fuck it. Okay, just cut whatever you can cut and I'm leaving. So I cut what I could cut and I left. So whatever got left behind is what's going to get left behind for the year. But just, I don't know, too wet I suppose. But if I let this grow in next year, and then if the cows start needing food, and depending on weather conditions, I probably could cut this first, because this might be dry enough, because once you get rain down here, then it's going to be wet for, days. And then if I can't cut any hay, if it's too wet, then I could go cut underneath the bridge, because that will be dry no matter what, unless it floods. So, but I don't know, it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along here. I've obviously made quite a few mistakes so far this year, but, I cut too much hay. And, I mean, all that I did cut, I was going to cut it anyway, but I think I cut too much at one time. So then some of that hay, gets too dry, even though the cows don't seem to care about it. I just think if it's too dry, then, I don't know, I guess they'd still eat it, but I just figured they probably would like a little bit of green in it, So, I don't know, but we'll just keep figuring it out. I guess we'll learn from whatever fuck-ups we make, so. But yeah, hopefully next year we can get new sickles put on that mower. Maybe that'll change how stuff gets cut a little bit, but despite on what goes on, I'm not going to worry about it this year. So, we're almost done. Whatever little bit of cutting I do have left, the sickles will do it, because they can do all this. So, they can do that a little bit, and then that's it. Because then we're done. There's nothing more I can cut. So, but after that, hopefully we'll have a tractor here and we can move bales in, and the cows could be out in the big square field eating shit down there, instead of me having to cut hay or even feed them round bales. So, what are you looking at, dear? I see you. I see you. Yeah. I don't know, but other than that, that's going to be kind of it. I'm going to make another ranting, bitchy, complaining video, and then that'll be that. So, yeah. But I guess, guys, I'm going to take off, so I guess I have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.